How's it going, everybody? This is Snow Run Adventures here, and this is going to be kind of a follow-up video to the last one that I made where I was kind of drawing up on top of another video. This one's gonna really just go over what I look for in slopes and uh, kind of follow the same format with kind of using vectors and might even tie it back into that same video that you guys saw earlier, but tie it back into like when to initiate turns. And so what we're going to look for here on this first video is I'm going down a blue run, and all I'm going to point out is like vectors of the slopes, right? So you know like where the main vector is, where you need to be when you initiate turns, and kind of like what side you want to be on when you are heading down certain slopes. So first off, we're going to start off and we're going to draw the easiest one that you see. Right here, you can tell that if you were to draw a straight line all the way across, you definitely have a slope heading in this direction, right? So if I were to take eraser, does it erase all of it? It does not, yes. So if you were to draw a line in that direction, right? Let's actually move it up here. We have a slope in that direction here, right? So then what is the other slope that we have here, right? We have another slope heading this way, right? You can see here that is a slope. We'll actually erase this one. Now, this is kind of a bad picture because it looks like they're complete opposite directions, right? So we're going to kind of fix it. We have a slope down from where we are into this side, right? And so an overall majority of a vector is going to be about like that, right? So that's the main slope of this run, is about like that angle right there. Let's draw it down here. About right here. This one's kind of hard to tell, but if you look closely, you have a slope in this direction, you have a slope this way, and so this is probably the overall direction of the slope, right? So if we were to continue running this video, you're going to notice I'm heading that direction, right? I'm following the main slope. So now, as we get closer, we still have, if we start looking over here, right, we still have the slope going this way. We're still going this way, right? So our direction is going to inevitably end up going like that, right? Following the contours of the run. You will notice, for the most part, because the main direction of this is going this way, right? With my left foot forward, in order to travel straight, I will be on my toe side, right? In order to go straight, I will be on my toe side. For the most part, whenever I want to turn and start cutting in this direction, I will have to go to my heel side in order to get a turn. Now, I could hit my toe side hard and turn up, but I will be cutting across the main slope and I'll be slowing down, right? If I wanted to stop, I'd hit my toe side hard, I would go that way. That's how I'm going to slow down. I'm going to get parallel, or not parallel, perpendicular to the run, right? So as I'm on my toe side, and it's going to be hard to tell, but I will try to be like, oh, toe side, heel side, toe side, heel side. You'll kind of see the camera bob depending on what direction I'm going, but I'll kind of pay attention to that, and that will show like, oh, toe side he's going more straight, to heel side he's going a little bit to the left there. But anyways, so continue watching. So if you'll notice there, go back 10 seconds. Ooh, that seemed a lot more than 10 seconds. Yeah, so toe side, I'm going straight. Heel side, I'm turning. Toe side, so at this point now, right, we have completely merged from one slope to another slope, right? Let's see if I can get close enough. Yeah, that's probably the best I can do. So at this point here, we don't have two vectors anymore that we are going to be combining. At this point in time, the main run is down like this. You don't have a side slope in that direction, and you don't have a side slope in that direction, right? The main run is just down. So as I go down this, if I hit my toe side, I'm going to turn that way. If I hit my heel side, I'm going to turn that way, right? This isn't the best video. I'll continue to find more, show a few more examples, but heel side, toe side, heel side, toe side, heel side, toe side, right? Still on toe side, cutting over that way. I'm going to hit the brakes, slow down. I'm going to hit toe side. And now here. Now it's just flat for the most part. Slight downhill, but the direction is that way, right? And so the same principle applies here, right? If I hit my toe side, I turn that way. If I hit my heel side, I turn that way, right? So this is a fairly easy one to read, fairly easy run to read. However, I will pull up a video that might help explain it a little bit better as to what I look for on turns. And it's one that will be kind of familiar. It's the one that I used the last time that I did a video like this. So give me 30 seconds and I'll get that pulled up. Here's the next video that we're going to look at right now. So this is more of a weird little canyon here, right? And this is a great example as to multiple vectors coming into play depending on where you are at, right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at where I'm at currently and try to figure out where my vectors are. So obviously you have a main run downhill in this direction, right? You can see the bottom comes out right here, but it does have a weird turn right here. So where we are at currently, the main run is going down at an angle like this, right? We also pay attention to where I'm going. I am going in a direction like this. And this is where I'll kind of come in on a third video explaining where I'm at in my direction of the boards, but I'll just kind of show a quick snippet of what my plan is with that. But we're going to pay attention to this direction as well. And then the other direction that we see here is down like this, right? You have a slope here, but you also have another slope here, right? We're not going to worry so much about this one because we are not on that side of the hills. But so we're going to draw it in blue real quick. But just keep in mind that that is another direction of this run, right? We're just not going to focus too much about it right now. So we have the main vector here and here for the slope that we are following, right? So if you were to kind of even those out, you're going to have a little bit more like this. Notice it's still funneling us towards that area, right? Instead of being more straight up or straight this way, we're going to combine the two and get one kind of similar to this, right? And so if that is the main vector of this run, right? If you look, if I want to continue going this way, what I will have to do is I will have to stay on my heel side, right? If I stay on my heel side, I will go this way. And if I go hard enough, I can go this way and go perpendicular to this slope and I will stop, right? I'm not looking to stop right now. And so I believe my goal here is to travel this way. This is with my left foot forward. If I was right foot forward, I'd be on my toe side to travel this way, right? But what we're going to pay attention to is as I travel in this direction, we're going to just continue watching the slope of the run. And if I turn it all towards the left, watch how my body will lean further back, still keeping in line with the center of the board in order to turn further to the left. That happened really fast. Okay, so this is where we were, roughly. No, we are back one more. Where were we? Too far now? I might be too far. Still might be too far. Yeah, too far. Anyways, but as you noticed, when I cut over, my board came perpendicular to the run, and I stopped, right? I'm applying the brakes, but I'm getting ready to cut over. So we're gonna let this play. See, do I have the ability to slow it down? I do. Let's turn it down to half speed, just while I am demonstrating. Let's erase these. But what we'll do, just because I do know this run, is the slope is like this. We can obviously tell just based off the angle. And the other one is like this. So our majority vector, probably not quite like that. But our majority vector here is probably about like that right here. Right, so I am, for the most part, perpendicular to that run. I am stopping. If I stayed in this angle, I would probably actually start going that way. I don't want that, so I will actually try to push more weight down on this foot here to drive that nose down, bring it closer to perpendicular to where I could cut over and go this way. But this is not the video that I wanted to do on turning, so we'll just continue and just focus on the vectors of the run. Yes, so now if you look here, we have the slope going this way, we have the slope going this way. So our majority vector probably about like this. Let's actually redo that. Probably about like this, right? Majority vector, where the main slope's going. You can see it's funneling, still pointing towards the bottom of the hill. You will notice, for the most part, the vectors will typically point towards the bottom of the hill, where the path leads, where the slope leads. So as you can see, I am still a little bit off from that vector there, but for the most part, I'm fairly close. I'm on my toe side right now, so if I continue, I'm going to continue to turn this direction, because if I hit my heel side, I will go that way, right? If I hit my heel side, I'm going to go this way. If I want to continue turning on my toe side, I will continue to go this way to the point where my angle of the board is going to be in line. And if I wanted to straight line it and ride on a somewhat flat base, I would follow this direction here. I won't be doing that. I will actually cut all the way over. But if you notice kind of like where my board is, and depending on what side of the board I am riding on, whether it's a heel side or toe side, would change which direction I go based off this, right? If my main vector was this direction, hit my toe side, I will go this way. If I hit my heel side, I'll go this way, right? Not just continuing in this direction here. So let's continue to watch. Sorry about this blue text. I can't really get rid of it. I don't have the original video of this anymore. So I've now cut over completely. The main slope is going down there. We do have this one here now that we have to worry about, and we have this one here, right? These two do cancel out right here in the middle because it's mostly just this direction here. So we're not going to worry too much about those two slide slopes. We're just going to worry about this one. If I were to hit my heel side right now, I would fall over backwards and my head would land over right here. If I continue on my toe side, I will either go straight or start turning sharper uphill until the point where I am parallel, and at that point I will lose speed or I'll actually start going backwards on the other side of my foot. So it's important to know kind of where you're at and where your vectors are to be able to initiate turns, and knowing kind of when to get a feel for when you should turn and when you shouldn't turn, right? So let's continue playing the video, see if there's any other good spots. Let's see. Just trying to see if there's anything that I want to show. Yeah, that's probably a good one, right? About here. So I'm going down the main run, right? So if you're watching, you have the main run here, but you also are starting to get pushed into this here, right? And so you get an overall slope of about like that, right? And so in order to stay in line with the slope of the run, because at this point right now, all I'm trying to do is avoid people, but also just make it down the hill, not worried about trying to control speed. I'm wanting to pick up speed right here. So in order to continue picking up speed, I want to keep the board, the nose of the board, as close as I can to that vector. So what I'll do is I'll actually come over and I'll switch over back to my toe side and I'll start going that direction down the main slope. You'll see here very soon, there's my toe side, right? Hit my toe side, I'm going down the main slope, cutting over slightly to the right. And I think I'm still slowing down. Let's turn this up to full speed. Probably going 20 some-ish miles an hour, 28, 29, somewhere in that range. You can see I'm mostly a flat base, a little bit on my heel side. If you notice, I'm going straight while on my heel side. The main run's going that way and that way, right? So you have overall slope. Probably not like that. Probably about like that, right? So I'm on my heel side, so I'm going straight rather than going that direction there. It's kind of a weird one to try to explain, but it will make a lot more sense when I do a video on turning, because the turning, when you link that together with where your board's angled with the slopes of the run, it'll just make a lot more sense. I just like to do a separate video on that in the future, kind of think about how I want to explain it. Also, if you have not seen my first video, it's the physics of snowboarding. I'll have a link at the very end of the video to go watch that. It's just kind of paying attention to where your snowboard is in line with your center of gravity and your head, right? If you were to follow up the center line of the snowboard, I have an entire video explaining that and how it'll kind of help, if you're to be cognizant of that in the back of your mind, how it'll help kind of keep you from falling on your toe or heel sides, just due to being outside of that center of gravity line. So it's a really good video. Recommend watching that. It's a little quiet. But yeah, I think that's going to be all that I have for you on this video. It's kind of a weird one. But yeah, let me know what you think. And yeah, have fun out there.